Hello everyone, this is Devin, here to bring DraftKings NFL DFS picks for Week 1 for the 2022 season. For those new to the Sporty Mouth Channel, I'm going to provide 7 DFS picks for GPP. The 7 DFS picks I provide are not the only option out there. Therefore, if you do not hear an NFL player mentioned in the video, does not mean they're not in play. I'm going to try to make this a quick video. I'm going to give one lineup. Again, which would consist of 7 players. I normally don't give the flex or the defense. So without further ado, my first DFS pick, Justin Herbert of the Los Angeles Chargers. DraftKings Saturday 7,600. Herbert will be facing the Las Vegas Raiders squad. As of last season, the Raiders was ranked 15th in the league in allowing fantasy points to the quarterback position. Herbert is a player that's going to look for players like a Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler out of the backfield. Herbert definitely should make a good option. He's a player that's going to more than likely pass the football. Had a solid season last season. Should look for him to do more of that this season. And this Las Vegas and Chargers game is projected to be high scoring. Another reason why you might want to consider Herbert, because with scoring totals being high for those, and this is directed towards the new players in DFS, games with projected totals with high scoring games usually translate that's a game that you want to try to select your players from, since high scoring usually translates to scoring fantasy points. We're going to move right along, but we're going to stay in that same game and suggest Austin Eckler of the Chargers. DraftKings at 8,200. With the luxury of having an Eckler in your backfield, you will get a running back that's going to catch the football as well as run it. He's a solid receiver. Herbert looks for him. Definitely, as I took the liberty to pair him up with Herbert, because he should see some targets to really start out the season. Think he's in for a nice game. Raiders are 29th in the league based off of last season, of course, in allowing fantasy points to the running back position. Eckler being a solid running back, that pass receiving is always going to be one of the reasons why you'll roster a player like Eckler, because he's going to see volume, passing and rushes. Of course, more so, again, he's definitely a good, decent pass catcher. You could easily could have paired Herbert up with Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, but I went with Eckler. Think he's going to make a decent option and should help your DraftKings lineups out. My next DFS pick, Chase Edmonds of the Miami Dolphins. DraftKings at 5,200. Edmonds is another player that's solid runner and will catch the football out of the backfield. I think the problem that we're going to have with Edmonds, and I roster him, but he's in a backfield that may be a run by committee. And if that's the case, his upside is going to be somewhat limited if they're going to choose to, like I said, have that position field run by committee type backfield. But I do like Edmonds in this regard. He likes to catch the football out of the backfield. Now, again, as I was stating, that run by committee may scare off a few players. Now, if he can catch a couple of balls, get into the end zone, he's going to be just fine. But, again, that's always a point to look at. I went with him. I like the salary, and I think he's going to be a player that's going to catch a few footballs out of the backfield to help your lineups out, and why I recommended him. Moving right along, my next DFS pick, Marquise Brown of the Arizona Cardinals. DraftKings Saturday 6,200. This is projected to be one of the highest scoring games, and with Brown more than likely being the primary target of Kyler Murray, it should be an interesting game for him. Should be, like I said, high scoring, so he should see a lot of targets, because Arizona is more likely going to have to keep up with Kansas City. The Chiefs, as of last season, was 29th in the league and allowing fantasy points to the wide receiver position. So that definitely, if they have not fixed that defense, then Brown should be in for a big day. Right at I think 54 points is what the projected total is going to be. And again, with that projected total being high, and this is directed to the new people playing DFS football, that projected high scoring game or total may translate for you to grab those players out of this particular game, either side of the football, that you think is going to be responsible for scoring those points, like getting the yards, making the catches, finding the end zone, of course. So, and for that reason, Brown is one of the reasons why I have him in the lineup, because I like the high scoring game and I wanted some exposure to this particular game. Because Kansas City, like I said, they like to throw the football, and the teams playing has to keep up some form of some fashion. And Brown definitely, if that's the case, if they're playing from behind and have to pass the football, then he should see a lot of targets. My next DFS pick, Michael Pittman Jr. of the Colts. DraftKings at 5,500. Pittman Jr. would face the Houston Texans, who's 22nd in the league in allowing fantasy points to the wide receiver position. Of course, Matt Ryan is the new quarterback for the Colts, and he's going to more than likely look for a Pittman Jr. against Houston. I like Pittman Jr.'s chances because if their defense carries over from last season, then should play into Pittman's favor. Definitely, I think, makes a decent option against a Houston squad. Not going to be per se a high-scoring game, but I do like the DraftKings salary of this particular player against Houston. I think he has a good chance to play well and to really help your lineups out. And my next DFS pick, Marquise Scantling of the Kansas City Chiefs. DraftKings at 4,700. With Scantling, he's another player that I grabbed from that Kansas City Arizona game. Wants some exposure to that game. It's more like it's going to be a popular game because it's a high-scoring game. And Patrick Mahomes is a player that's going to pass the football. And with Scantling, he should be one of the primary targets of Mahomes. But Mahomes actually likes to spread the football around. Of course, Tyreek Hill is not in the Miami Dolphin. Scantling is probably one of those players that's going to be able to grab some of those targets and perhaps turn those targets into some receptions. Again, high-scoring game, should get targeted. He's probably the second wide receiver. Juju Shyster, I forget how to pronounce his name, is the primary target for Kansas City. But Scantling, if he sees the field, definitely is going to make a good option. Should see some targets, high-scoring game, should be able to help your lineups out. And my last DFS pick, Darren Waller of the Las Vegas Raiders. DraftKings at 5,400. Waller's facing a Chargers squad who, as of last season, was not a great team at defending the tight end position. Of course, Waller is going to have to contend, probably last season being the primary target of a Derek Carr. But this season, of course, they have Devontae Adams on the team. So definitely Waller still should see some targets and should be able to help your lineups out in this particular game. But definitely his lion's share of targets that he's probably saw this season is probably going to go down just a little bit with Devontae Adams on the team now. But I like Waller, again, because the Chargers, as of last season, weren't defending the tight end position well. I think they were like 31st in the league and allowing fantasy points to the tight end position. But again, with the first week of the season, those stats, you can take that with a grain of salt. But this is a game that's projected to be high scoring. Waller should see some targets. He's not going to see probably the targets he saw from last season, but he definitely still should make a good option. He's one of the better tight ends in the league, and Carr's going to look for him. Chargers is not a great defensive team in regarding defending the tight end position, so definitely should make a decent option for your fantasy lineups. For those, I will be bringing probably another couple of lineups via the YouTube short and the Instagram reel. Definitely follow me on Instagram at Sporty Mouth. But I will be providing another short for the YouTube here for this channel, along with this lineup I'm presenting now. So that's a few lineups. They'll all be different. You don't get the deep in-depth analysis, of course, with the short, but it gives you a lineup, and definitely, again, you can use that information as you will, however you find it to be valuable. Hope everybody found this information helpful. These are my DraftKings NFL DFS picks for Week 1, the 2022 season. Please like the video and subscribe to the Sporty Mouth Channel. Take care. For anyone looking to save time building their lineups, you might want to try Draft Dashboard. As you can see on the screen, you get a 30-day trial to play around with Draft Dashboard, see how you like it. Definitely a decent option if you're looking to save time and if you build a lot of various lineups. And if you're looking to utilize Draft Dashboard for your lineups, there will be a link in the video description for you to check it out. Take care.